Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto you. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So real quick, before we jump into this here lesson, I make this here statement real quick so it's not too confusing. All right, so basically, depending on where you're watching these videos at, because my videos are up on at least 3 different pages. All right, so what you're looking at right now is my main page. All right, and it's just my name, Dawada. Right, this is my main page. Some of you are watching my videos on this here page, and some of you aren't. And I'm saying this because I'm gonna make another statement about something different. All right, so this is my own main personal page. All right, well, this is one of our other pages. Actually, it's on profitable servants. Yeah, this is it right here. Salak. All right, so we'll just all right, here we go. Here's another one of our pages right here. It's called Unprofitable Servants, St. Petersburg, Florida. All right, now this is like a camp page where you can see pretty much all of our videos, the whole camp's videos. In fact, if you watch if you're on my page here, at the very top video here is the same page, the same video, which is uploaded on multiple pages. Again, is a main camp page. You can find all the brothers here on this here page, But nevertheless, we also have another page, all right, which I'm gonna mention here, GMS Tampa Bay 12, all right. Now this is the main camp page, all right. So saying all that to say this because I'm gonna make this here statement, and I don't want anybody to be kind of lost. Now on Wednesdays we try to go live around 9 o'clock. You can tune in, subscribe to these channels, man. Just in case my channel get a flag or something like that, we have to upload somewhere else. But nevertheless, you can subscribe to these channels as well too. If anything ever happens to my page or whatnot, hey, these are our main pages, all right. And nevertheless, like I said, these are just our main camp pages where we upload you can find us on the highways and the byways on the weekends, and all the different brothers. Here it is right here. Last weekend, us prophesying, on different brothers' pages, and their own videos being uploaded, But nevertheless, like I said, on Wednesdays we like to try to go live, and this was the live video that we did last night. All right, now saying all that to say this because we went into some topics and things like that. Hang on, real quick. Never mind. We went into some topics anyway last night, dealing with, World War III and the things that's kind of building up and things like that, just meditating on that. And, we were going for about an hour, but nevertheless, just going through that there topic, those things that we were talking about, man, a bunch of precepts came up, man, and just meditating on these here scriptures and visualizing all these different things, man. All right, man, it paints a beautiful picture, man. And we coming into these times, man. And right now, a lot of people are taking, the words of the Most High lightly, all these different things. Real quick, I'm gonna start with we can grab this in Daniel, but we're gonna grab it in Matthew 24, verse 22 or 24, 21. Matthew 24 and 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." So this is going to be let me grab it again. Okay, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1, right? It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book." This is talking basically about the elect getting saved up out of here, But the point I wanted to harp in on was there was going to be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. All right, also going into Jacob's trouble. But as far as, going into this here World War III, this is pretty much like an add-on to our live stream last night, man. But nevertheless, going into this here World War III, man, and just thinking about, the past wars and things that's been going on, man. And, as we read here in the scriptures, it's going to be a time like never before. So, let's just talk about Jacob's trouble, out of all the atrocities that happened to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, like the Native Americans, they was, they came out, they didn't, but the Edomites came out with this damn Gatling gun. All right, what you know of now today is like a minigun or some shit, right? But back in the days, you know, it was a Gatling gun or a Hotchkiss gun, right? But they came out, or a Browning automatic rifle, man. They came out with these things and rolled up on Gad and just laid their ass down, man. You know what I'm saying? Imagine getting hit, especially when they ain't got no type of armor, man. You know what I'm saying? Imagine getting hit with one of those goddamn bullets. This thing's just rolling on your ass, man. All right? Or the transatlantic slave trade, you know? They say that 99 million so-called Negroes died in just the Middle Passage alone. All right? There was so much blood and bodies that just was in that path that sharks still swim that path to this very day, man. All right? And then the things that happened to us once we got over here, all right, and put into slavery, and the things that happened to us after slavery, all right? All of that is a cakewalk, man. All of that in comparison to what's coming is just like, you know, the difference would be like, yo, you just stubbed your toe, you know what I'm saying? You walking outside barefoot and you step on a little small rock and it kind of hurt a little bit, all right? That's what like slavery and all the Middle Passages and Esau coming down on Gad would be compared to, is like, yo, you just stepped on a little small rock. The shit that's coming is like you getting smashed up by a goddamn train, you know what I'm saying? Like a train coming at full force and just hit your ass and you just turn into a ball of a mist of blood, man. All right, that would be the difference from the things that didn't happen beforehand to this time, man. World War I, World War II. We was going in on that in World War II and things like that. And you know, one of the brothers was you know, posed it a certain type of way to, hey, go do your research on these things, man. Go look at these things, man. You had about, I believe it was in China and Russia, about 50 million people apiece died in each one of those countries, man. You know what I'm saying? Like 50 million in Russia, and I think it was like 52 million in Russia and like 50 million in China, man. All right, D-Day in Normandy. All right, we didn't even mention this, but just think about that, D-Day in Normandy. You can go on YouTube and watch videos and reenactments of these things and stuff like that, where they was rolling up on them damn U-boats, all right, and they was just sitting there laying them motherfuckers down. As soon as the boat door opened up, it was just like you know, the soldiers were stacked inside the boat. You know, it was like a ranks of soldiers. But as soon as that damn boat gate opened up, they was just mowed the fuck down. You see them saying, like, yo, out of all them waves of boats, you know what I'm saying, maybe like 10% actually made it to the damn beach to make a beach landing. You know what I'm saying? And out of all of that, maybe, you know what I'm saying, 1% of those made it halfway up the damn hill. All right, but they was just getting mowed down all damn day long. You know what I'm saying? Just getting mowed down. Imagine visually seeing that, man. Just bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies, just getting mowed. Imagine being the dudes out there shooting them damn guns. Like, yo, dog, we out here for hours on end just letting loose. Just all day. You just laying people down, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a scripture in the Bible about, you know, King David and his mighty men when they going through the mighty men. You know, there was one of the mighty men who was out there just slaying. You know, he talking about he delivered a whole field. You know, he was out there slaying so much that his damn, basically his hand got stuck to his sword, man. You know, basically like, you know how maybe you've been driving for a long time, you know, you go on a long road trip or whatever, whatnot, and then your hands start cramping up on that steering wheel because you've been gripping it for so long. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you just kind of stuck, man. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is going to be, all that is a cakewalk, man. You see what I'm saying? You got to visualize how bad all these things were. Hey, 9/11, you seeing them buildings collapse like that, that's just like 2 to 3 buildings collapsing, you know, 3,000 people dying, man. Or 3,000 people turning into straight dust, man, and the smell of smoke, man. That ain't shit, man, comparably to what's coming. All right, you have to understand, yo, World War III is going to be, yo, this whole place going to be burnt up, man. You're not going to see 2 or 3 buildings get laid over. You're going to see, yo, whole cities just demolished, man. You know, just meditating on this, man. You know, 3,000 people all mourning, and, oh, that's so sad. Bro, imagine 10,000 people dying all at once, 20,000 people dying all at once, man. Imagine watching the news and they talk about New York City just got hit with a nuke, downtown Manhattan, estimated 4 million people died. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what the fuck? 4 million families is mourning all of a sudden. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is, you know, what we coming to, all right? And this is just the beginning. Hey, you got damn near 500 earthquakes just leveled Puerto Rico, man. What more to come, man? And this ain't nothing, man. This is just the beginning of sorrows. These are the beginning times, man. This is where it's all beginning at, man. All right, so I wanted to grab some scriptures, man, and just kind of add on to what we was going into live last night. All right, and just kind of bring out these scriptures again, man. All right, so we had we was starting to read in Joel chapter 3, but I mean there were so many precepts off of this, man. You see what I'm saying? We didn't even get to the bottom of it, but nevertheless, we're gonna go back into it and grab some different scriptures. All right, this is Joel chapter 3 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right, so first and foremost, matter of fact, so we can get a clear. Really, it says all nations, all right. But Esau's gonna be down there too. I mean, we could have grabbed what is that? Ezekiel 36 and like I think verse 5, talking about they you can read 1 through 5, where they talk about. Let me just get it because the Edomites, Ezekiel 36. This is Ezekiel 36:2. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possession." All right. Therefore prophesy and say, "Thus saith Yahweh power, because they have made you desolate and have swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and that you are taken up in the lips of talkers and in infamy of the people." All right. So this is what wound up happening to us, man. All right, we was spoiled. We was actually sold to these different nations for them to just basically use us however they wanted. Verse 4, "Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh power. Thus saith Yahweh power to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers, to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about." All right, so now we just went into, we were just reading about how the Lord was going to gather all nations into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, all right, and judge them there, all right, for what they did to his people. All right, he was going to plead with them there for his people, all right, and those that parted his land, right? So verse 5 says, Ezekiel 36:5, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen." All right, so all these other nations, right, and against all Idumea, right, which Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom, all right. It says, "And against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of their heart, all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." All right, so basically, the Edomites, you understand that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, which is the Edomites. All right, they are the ones that went over there and parted the land of Israel. With the Balfour Declaration. These are all Edomites, man. Whether they want to, whether they from the tribe of Amalek, Amalek is still one of the tribes of Esau. All right, that's just like saying, oh, well, the Issacharites or whatever, whatnot. Well, they Israelites, they one of the tribes of Israel, But nevertheless, this is, what we're reading in Joel chapter 3. All right, let's get back to it. Joel 3:2, it says, I will also gather all nations. All right, we just read how the Most High was going to gather all the residue of the heathen. All right. It says, "I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they scattered among the nations and parted my land." All right, and the main person that wanted to part in the land and scattering the Most High's people is what? The Edomites. All right. Now, really, you can read down, on down from here. It goes into the transatlantic slave trade. All right, verse 3, "They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink." Going into what they traded us for in the slave trade. All right, rum, muskets, and basically prostitution. All right, they was just same shit that they doing today, man. All right, verse 4, "Yea, what do you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?" Right, these are these Africans that wound up selling us to the Edomites. "And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried them into your temple, carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. All right, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold." All right, so the so-called Africans sold us to who? Unto the Grecians, that they might be removed far from their border. All right, and this is what wound up happening. So we was, 70 AD and things like that. The Romans came and sacked Jerusalem, and we fled into the mountains, which was going over into Africa. All right, and that's where we wound up. We was basically on the east coast of Africa, right? Then basically the Africans, well, not really the Africans, the the Arabs. You can go into the sub-Saharan slave trade. All right, the Arabs wound up taking us into captivity and marched us pretty much from the east coast of Africa to the west coast of Africa. All right, this is where the slave ships, the Gold Coast, the Slave Coast, the Ivory Coast, whatever you want to call it. This is where basically the Africans rounded us up at and put us on sold us to the so-called white man and put us on the slave ships at. All right. So, that's just going into, the slavery. But nevertheless, what we were reading up at the top, the Most High is about to gather all these nations to repay them back for the things that they did. Right. So let's jump down to verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. All right. And this is also what we're doing, like we went into last night. We also prophesied to these other nations about their judgment. All right. About the things they are going to receive for the things they did. Like we just read up above, the so-called Africans sold us to the Edomites. We just also read about how the damn all the residue of the heathen and all Idumea, or the Edomites, all right, because they parted the Most High's land. Now it's time for their judgment, right? So Joel 3:9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So basically, this is what you're seeing with all these different nations, man. Well, let me keep reading. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, right? So what this is talking about, plowshares and pruning hooks are instruments of agriculture, right? Modern day today, they would be like, or olden days, you have an ox and a plow. But modern day today, you have like tractors, drills, you know what I'm saying? All these big farming equipment and things like that, man. Heavy machinery and stuff like that, man. Big, and you think about this, those big ass diesel engines that's pushing those tractors and things like that, and these big ass diesel engines just carrying dump trucks and everything like that, man. Those is basically the same shit that's inside them damn Humvees and the big ass military trucks and so on and so forth, man. They can pretty much repurpose them. Like that big ass when you see Russia rolling around in them damn trucks with the missiles on the back, they ICBM missiles rolling around, right? You see them big ass trucks, right? That's the same damn truck. They got them trucks over here in America, but they don't got missiles on them. What they got on them? They got bucket lifts. They use these or cranes on them. When they doing big ass jobs, they use pretty much those same trucks. So as you can see here in America, we pretty much have that as a pruning hook, all right? Something like an agricultural tool or a productive tool. You know what I'm saying? We're not using this for a weapon of war, but we're using this just to build up and things like that. Just like you can have a factory, all right? Tommy Hilfiger, they making clothes for you to just go styling in and whatever, whatnot, just to lounge around in, But if they take over that same fabric factory where they make the clothes and everything like that and start making, they call BDUs, battle dress uniforms, for the military. All right, this is what they doing. They changing their purpose from so-called civilian production to military production. All right, all your different things. You may have a bottling company, a company that make bottles for Coca-Cola. Now they making these little what they call them things, them little flasks the military men be wearing and so on and so forth. A company that make baseball and football helmets. Now they making bulletproof helmets. So this is what it's talking about. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. All right, all these different factories and everything. Right now, what do you see all these different nations investing their money into? Every single nation right now is basically spending money to ramp up their military. America and their allies right now, they buying the F-35 or they're investing in the F-35 program and things like that, man. All right, they're investing in all these different things, man. These new drones and everything like that, the things that America has, right? Now, on the flip side, you have to understand the history of Russia, all right, and how we basically went to war with Russia beforehand, not a hot war, but an economic war, after the fall of the USSR, you know what I'm saying, with Gorbachev and all that different stuff like that, man. All right, America was still at war with them. You talk about the Cold War. America was really at war with them. It was a Cold War, but America was still at war with them economically, you know what I'm saying, and socially and things like that. So Russia damn near became a third world country, man. All right, they went in there and people that was running it was just pretty much stealing all the shit from them, right? And pretty much ran the damn country down into a hellhole, man. All right, but then you have, like, this was years back. I think George Bush was in office when Vladimir Putin came into office. All right, now when Vladimir Putin came into office, this was the turning point. We'll actually grab this in Ezekiel 38, but nevertheless, this was the turning point for Russia. All right, Vladimir Putin got into office, and like the first thing he did was he started strengthening up their international ties with everybody else, man. They started strengthening their dollar. I believe it's called a ruble. All right, they started building up their infrastructure, their cities, and socially. All right, the minds of the people over there, uniting them and whatever, whatnot. Bringing them back so they could start building up things in Russia, man. All right, then fast forward in the time, once they started, with this international trade and started, trying to build pipelines, like what America's pissed off over this Nord Stream 2 pipeline right now. Russia trying to get money. All right, you see the BRICS situation, which is what is that? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Am I missing one? I think it's one more. Damn, I might have mispronounced one. It's Iran. Let me see. BRICS. B is Brazil. R, Russia. I believe it's Iran. C, China. S, South Africa. You know what I'm saying? The BRICS nations, all right? What they basically trying to do is cut America out. If you understand what the petrodollar is, they trying to cut them out with that. You see what I'm saying? And cut down their resources. Also, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, or whatever it's called, Raytheon. These are American companies that sell General Electric, GE. These are companies that create and sell military equipment, these bombs and shit, man. These fighter jets, tanks, and all these different things. All the military equipment is made by these here companies, man. Like the F-35 is made by Lockheed Martin. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you see in Russia now is starting to be a producer, one of the main producers of military arms. All right, you're starting to see that with the S-400 being sold to a lot of these other nations, the S-300 being sold to a lot of these different nations. Hypersonic, well, they developed the hypersonic missiles. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, all in all, they're gonna wind up selling these things, all nuclear missiles, because Russia and America are the two biggest. They have the two largest stockpiles of nuclear weapons. All right. Really, Russia know how to develop them shit. So, I mean, and they tell you that, oh, they only got like 12,000. Nah, these motherfuckers got way more than that, man. All right, they don't really tell you about what the shit that they got, because they had a nuclear agreement, basically, that they would stop producing, but they kept producing just like how America kept producing. All right, but nevertheless, like I said, we'll get to that in Ezekiel 38. But as you see, these different nations are now all investing into military equipment. They hide. These countries ain't building up their infrastructure and the plumbing and all these different things in their country right now. They're not investing in education, healthcare system, and these types of things, man. What they're investing in is military equipment, man. Every nation right now is damn near investing into their military equipment and spending more and more and more on it, all right? So let me read it again. It's Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears, all right? So, hey, change, as a nation's leader, change your agenda and your course from, just trying to take care of your nation and build up the economy and, build social programs and healthcare programs and all these extra. Fuck all of that, man. Invest in your military. This is the number one priority you need to be investing in, because it's time for war right now, man. This is what's going on. We just read this verse 9. In verse 9, it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war." All right, so they're preparing for war. Wake up the mighty men. All right, a lot of these different nations, like Iran, the ancient Persians. All right, when you watch like 300, they had the immortals, man. All right, but nevertheless, I think they portrayed in another movie too. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was another movie they were also portrayed in. But nevertheless, you see these people going from, and Iran ain't really invaded no country in, fuck, a long time. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you seeing all these different nations going from, oh, we just chilling, peaceful, we just trying to do our own thing, we just living, trying to, build up our own economy in our own country, to now they're like, nah, we got to start investing into militaries, man, and to buying arms and weapons and things like that, man. All right, so this is what you're starting to see. All right, so let me finish off verse 10. Let me read it again. Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And this is what you're starting to see right now, especially with the tit for tat with Iran right now, Iran would basically, in a sense of military equipment and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Not too long ago, they would basically be considered like a weak nation in comparison to America, man. All right, but right now, they coming out, you had Trump assassinate Soleimani over there and then wind up tweeting out an American flag. You know what I'm saying? So now, Iran made that bomb and run or whatnot. They tweet out an Iranian flag. They sticking their chest out, like, look, bitch, we can play the same damn game you playing, man. We not taking this shit no more. We're not gonna sit here over here and cry out to the United Nations about, oh, this is a war crime against humanity or whatnot. We need to seek action. We need to bring this up in international courts. Nah, they like, fuck that. We don't need no. Nah, we got this. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, now they want to go out and start, because America's normally the one to designate who the fuck is a terrorist. But now Iran is saying, nah, y'all, the American military, they terrorists right now, man. And we trying to put this shit down on paper, man. So basically, you seeing these weaker nations who wouldn't dare move their tongue, you know what I'm saying, towards America, because they hey, they don't want to get a sanction like Cuba. You know what I'm saying? They throw them the damn sanctions on their ass. They wind up really, hitting the economy, And right now, you pretty much have that situation going on in Iran, and a lot of other countries where they're trying to destabilize them, i.e. look at Venezuela, economically. These are the things that they do, like Venezuela, they make the majority of their money off of selling oil. Well, the headquarters to the state-run oil company is here in America, and America's not allowing them to transfer the money back into Venezuela for the people to be able to get paid. So therefore, the people, this is where you get the narrative of the government is starving the people out or whatnot. Well, Maduro ain't getting the money from the oil that they selling because America got sanctions on him and is holding their money. So therefore, if he ain't getting his paycheck, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got a roommate and then, your roommate get mad with you because you ain't paid this month rent. You didn't pay your half of rent. It's like, well, it ain't my fault. I wanted to pay rent, but my boss decided he was gonna go on vacation when it was on payday and not write my check. So I gotta wait for him to get back to give me my damn paycheck. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I was gonna pay. I got, you know what I'm saying? Everything was good, but it's on him. He the reason that my paycheck is held up. So it's not that I'm just holding out on my money. Yo, he got my paycheck fucked up right now, But nevertheless, this is what you see happening right now, with America. They normally the ones putting sanctions on people and try to hit them economically. But now, all of a sudden, you have Iran sticking their chests out, man. Also, Turkey with the F-35 and the S-400, man. America was talking all this big shit about kicking them out of the F-35 program, out of NATO and so on and so forth. If they do this, putting sanctions on them, man. All right, so what? If they took hold of that S-400 system, Turkey said, fuck that. We still going to get the S-400 and we're going to keep the F-35. What you going to do? You going to kick us up out of the F-35 program? Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? You going to kick us out of NATO? Go ahead. Donald Trump was like, nah, fuck that. We're going to just sanction your ass. All right, well, 2 weeks of sanctions, then they pull the sanctions off, You see what I'm saying? So now these weaker countries in the eyes of America are standing up against America, man. All right? Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down. Oh, Yahweh. All right. So here it says, assemble yourselves. Come all ye heathen. All right. So basically, this is what you're starting to see happen right now, especially with that Iran situation. All right. And really what all these things are moves of is them sending more and more troops, giving them a reason. This is in a carnal sense, so they can give you a reason why they're sending all these troops over to the Middle East, but we know according to the prophecies, this is what's going on. The Lord is gathering all nations into the Middle East. The Lord is gathering all these different nations to the goddamn meat grinder, man. The Lord is gathering all these damn nations to judge them all, man. The Lord is about to lay all these damn nations down all at once, man. All right. And these are the times that we living in. It's beautiful, man. You seeing all these different soldiers getting sent over there, man. The selective service draft website wound up shutting down because they had an overload of hits on that website the other day. People were concerned about getting drafted into the military, man. All right, everybody's all in a frenzy because why? They know they're all about to get sent over to the Middle East, never to return, man. They're going to goddamn be buried in the sands of time over there, man. All right? Just like those old ancient civilizations that, it's the same people, but all the old societies and all that shit is buried under the damn sands over there, man. All right? You see them over there excavating Jerusalem and stuff like that and finding, all these old ancient cities. It's all buried under the sand, and that's what's going to happen to basically all of America's military, man. So if you want to in the military, you go over there in the military, get drafted out there, your ass ain't coming back, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is the prophecy that you're seeing happen. All the, they're not about to go to World War III today or tomorrow, but they, you're going to keep seeing things like this so that they'll send more and more and more and more troops over there, man. All right? Because, it takes a while to position and bring all your equipment into an area, all right, for a war, man. All right? You don't want to be in the middle of a damn war and trying to start bringing, all right, we got 100 tanks over here, but we definitely going to need more tanks, so we going to have to ship 4,000 or 5,000 tanks over here. Like, bro, how the fuck you going to ship 4,000 or 5,000 tanks into a damn battlefield? Because you got to fly these bitches over there in airplanes and either, land the plane and then, drive these bitches off or just, drop them out the back of the plane and parachute them down, man. All right? We could just shoot these bitches. We could just shoot your plane out the sky, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you can get like 7 tanks on a damn plane. You know what I'm saying? 4 to 7 tanks on a plane. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden we just shoot down a plane. It's nothing, man. You done lost all your tanks right then and there. So what they do is they bring in the equipment slowly but surely before they actually go in there and invade, man. All right, just like at the 9/11, they went over into the Middle East. We had already had so many damn troops over there, so when it was time for them to start attacking, you didn't really have to move too many people over there. They was already stationed over there, man. All right, but this is what you're starting to see, the build up of World War III, man. All right, these prophecies are definitely speaking right now, man. The Most High is about to start moving massive amounts of troops over into this here Middle East. Donald Trump talking about, we're going to end these endless wars and bring our troops home and so on and so forth. No, that ain't what's written, man. What's written is you're going to increase the number of troops going over there, man. You're going to keep increasing because this is going to be the damn meat grinder for, the majority of these, really all of these damn soldiers, man. All right. Well, really, some of these soldiers is going to make it through all of this here turmoil and fighting back and forth, only to goddamn be afraid of the return of Yahweh Shah. But guess what? He going to put the spirit on their ass and they still going to fight and still going to wind up dying, man. All right. But nevertheless, it's Joel 3 and 12. Let the heathen be awakened. All right. And this is, again, like we read up earlier, it says, let the weak say I'm strong. All right. Let the heathen be awakened. All right. So again, going back into that, we had these sovereign nations just worried about they own shit that they got going on, man. We got to improve our healthcare. We got to improve our educational system. We got to do whatever we got to do. We don't give a fuck about these other countries and what they got going on. We just worried about us right now. All right. But guess what? The Lord said, let the heathen be awakened. All right. So basically, they being, how do I put this? They're being brought to this here attention of being brought to the Middle East, man. All right. This is what's going on. Look, it's like the Lord says, I got an agenda for you. Fuck what you got going on. Yeah, we know you trying to build up your healthcare system or whatever, whatnot. That's just got to be put to the side. Your number one priority is where we got right here. Let me grab something. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart, all right. Now the modern day kings are the leaders of these nations, all right. And this here word heart is going into your mind. So it says like the king's mind, all right. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whereversoever he will. All right. And just like a river is going to go down a course, it's going, a river is only going to go wherever the river banks take it. You see what I'm saying? So like if, you have a straight ass river going in a straight line for 50 miles and all of a sudden the river banks take a hard left, you know what I'm saying? That river is going to, the water in the river is going to be going to the left. All right. Meaning that the river banks is the one that's controlling the path of where the water is going. That's the same analogy here. The Most High is talking about how the king's heart or his mind is in the hand of the Most High. All right. So basically, just like how the river banks direct the flow of the river, the Most High is directing these kings, man. All right. The minds of these kings. So this is what you see happen with these nations being awakened. All right. So let's go back to Joel 3 and verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, which is the Lord's judgment. All right, it says, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. So this is the prophecy. So we just reading into this. It's like, yo, all these different nations, all these different heathen, they all gonna get their judgment, man. All right, and they all got to start bringing their troops over there, right? Right now, you don't have a bunch of Russian troops over there. Really, Russia is the shit that Russia is actually doing over there is like being the aid to some of these countries, and their troops are in these like Syria, wherever they got them S-300s, they got, soldiers over there basically to man and operate those systems, They also have like, soldiers in certain places to train people on how to design certain shit, as far as their planes and so on and so forth, But really, Russia's not really nowhere else, you know what I'm saying? They might just have a couple, I think for the S-300, they send like 7 different soldiers out there with you, That ain't no real group of soldiers, man. All right, so Russia don't really have no damn real soldiers in the Middle East. They hitting them in the Middle East, using cruise missiles from the ships. They just hitting their ass from, out in the water and shit, shooting them, hitting them like that, But nevertheless, once Russia start moving major troops out there on the borders and so on and so forth, China start moving in over there, bringing soldiers over there, North Korea, Japan, so on and so forth, man. Because, wow, we just read verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. All right, so what nation ain't a damn heathen? All right, they're going to all be over there. And gather yourselves round about, thither cause the mighty ones to come down. O Yahweh, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, so this is going to be, all these different nations' judgment, man. They're going to bring their damn militaries over into the Middle East, all right, for what they perceive as World War III. And you starting to see the size being set up right now, with Russia being we're gonna grab that as well too. Russia being a garden to these other nations. All these other nations are tired of America bullying them. All right. So now everybody's picking and choosing sides, man. People are tired of this petrodollar. So what? They trying to go into these other monetary systems like the BRICS system. All right. They tired of buying and getting oil from America, whatever, whatnot, or the grips of America. So they trying to, get oil from Russia directly, man. All right. So you seeing the sides being put up, man. You got the beast starting to hate the whore over what the Iran deal that they pulled out of, and Trump talking about, look, if you're dealing with them, we're gonna sanction your ass, even our allies too, bro. We're not playing with that shit, man. You see how they just clowned Trump over there at that, I believe it's the G20 summit or whatever it was. You see what I'm saying? So all these things are starting to happen, man. But guess what? It's gonna continue to build, man. They're gonna bring, all these different nations. They're gonna all be over in the Middle East, man, prepared to fight this final world's war. And we opened up with it's gonna be a time of trouble like there was never since there was a nation, even into the same time. So they gonna have all their whole armies over there, man. Every last one of these nations gonna have their militaries over there, man. All right, all duking it out in the middle of a World War III, man. All right, with these modern day weapons, man, laser weapons. What do they call these damn things? You got hypersonic missiles. You got drone warfare, robotic warfare, AI warfare. I don't know if I mentioned, but laser weapons and shit like that, man. They got all kind of shit they about to start coming out here waxing people with, man. Let alone thermonuclear missiles, man. Again, you ain't never seen no shit like that. The closest thing you seen was the atomic warfare on Japan, man. All right, but nevertheless, man, you about to see what they call it, a wind of destruction, man. All right, a besom of destruction, man. All right, verse 13, Joel 3 and 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions. All right, so basically, this here is the meat grinder, man. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. All right, it's time. You on a farm or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you done planted a bunch of strawberries or whatever it is that you planted on the farm, right? Now all the strawberries are come to full harvest. Now it's time to go and pick them, man. All right, so go ahead and go. Either call the people that go out there and pick the damn strawberries, or you got these machineries, these tractors that go through and wind up picking all these strawberries. Now it's time to go ahead and pick. It's the prime time to go ahead and pick, man. If you leave it on here anymore, they're going to wind up rotting and spoiling, man. All right, so now is the perfect time to start picking, man. And guess what? The Most High is about to start picking and sifting through these goddamn nations right now, man. All right, so it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. All right, and it says multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. Man, again, these nations are going to have their full armies over there, man. They might not start out having a full army over there, but look, first time that they lose a major wave of soldiers and shit, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna send for reinforcements, more and more and more, and all they're gonna be doing is sending more and more troops over there just to die. Just like again, D-Day in Normandy, man. That was a motherfucking meat grinder, man. All them people that was going over there, man. They talk about in World War II how they was just letting any and everybody in the damn military, man, and then they wasn't even really worried about giving you your boot camp and all that training or whatever. They're like, nah, we're gonna just put you on one of these damn U-boats. You're probably not gonna make it anyway, so just get this here gun and here's the trigger, point and aim and spray and pray. We're not even gonna waste time to invest in training your ass, because we know as soon as you touch down over there, you're only gonna last about 5 minutes before you die anyway. But nevertheless, this is what's gonna pretty much start happening, man. All right, once they get over there, man, it says multitudes, multitudes. All right, all these different nations, they militaries, man. All right, and this is gonna be the final war, so they're gonna be bringing out all the stops, man, all the soldiers, all the highest technology, man. And they're gonna duke it out over here in the Middle East. It says multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions. All right, so let me jump down. Actually, that's all I wanted to grab there. But nevertheless, I was just going kind of off the top of my head here. I got a couple of precepts I just wanted to touch. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. You know what I'm saying? Because I just spoke on this about how Russia, all right, was coming back into power. And that's what's going on. You see that going on now. Ezekiel 38 and 2, it says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, all right, which is dealing with Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Now, if you unlearned and you don't really know us or whatever, whatnot, and you hear us talk about World War III, and we talk about how Russia finna wax that ass over here in America, and they about to nuke this place off the face of the earth, if you unlearn and you just, listening in or whatever, whatnot, you would think that we, Russian, like we got a soft spot for Russia, and a lot of times we do news clips and articles and stuff, and the source be, RT, and people think that we just so-called Russian bots or whatever, whatnot, or, we sympathetic to the Russians, but no, that's not the case at all. The Russians, they Edomites too, man. The Most High just about to use Satan to take out Satan with a goddamn missile called Satan 1 and Satan 2. This is how cold the Most High is, man. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, these Russians, they Edomites as well too, man. So the Most High says, I'm against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, all right? Verse 4 says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, all right? So going into the USSR, all right, World War II and all that, you know what I mean? Mikhail Gorbachev and, Ronald Reagan wound up setting forth the little peace deal where they wound up, ended the so-called Cold War or whatever, whatnot, and that was the end-all be-all, and then shortly after the USSR broke into pieces, like if you look at a map of the USSR and you look at a map of Russia today, Russia's a lot smaller than the USSR, all right, and you see a lot more countries that wasn't, pretty much mentioned in the USSR. It was just basically one what is the United Soviet I can't never remember, United Soviet States or some shit like that. But nevertheless, you know, going into the USSR, you know. But nevertheless, like I said, after with Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan, all right, the USSR pretty much fell apart, and this is what you get now, basically Russia, right? And then now what you have, and again, is Russia is being brought back, all right? And these hooks are being put back into their jaws because again, at the end of World War, or really at the end of the Cold War, we were still at war with Russia, but it was like economic, socially, and all these different things. Like I said, it turned Russia into like a third world country. All right. Then Vladimir Putin came into office. All right. And this is what you're reading right here in Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right. So bringing them back to their old state. And this is what you're starting to see happen right now under the rulership of Vladimir Putin, man. All right. So you're starting to see them being built back up. All right. Then they, becoming a superpower again. All right, they starting to trade with these other nations, their resources and so on and so forth. But not just that, they also dealing in military equipment. They're really the #1 military power on the face of the earth right now because of their advancements in technology, man. All right. And why do you think it is that the Most High put it on the spirit of the Russians to, go from barely being able to afford anything in their country, all right, in infrastructure and so on and so forth, to developing the the highest level of these weaponry, How is it that they go from that to this? America been, look at the military budget spending of all nations, man. America spends more than, I believe, is America's #1, and then the next, I think, 7 or 9 countries combined, America still spend way more than them on military budget. But then how is it that Russia now has more superior weapons? All right, because it's all according to prophecy, man, and we're reading it right here in Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. It says, I will also turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army. All right. So, hey, look, the Most High said, I'll bring thee forth again, because they was in that docile state. They wasn't really trying to militarily conquer nobody. They had an old ass military infrastructure and so on and so forth, man. But now it's all being updated and upgraded. It says, I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen. All right. All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even with a great company, with bucklers, shields, and all them handling swords. Now, as we read it here, you notice they keep mentioning basically armor and shields and things like that, right? As you see, one of the main things right now that Russia is selling when it comes to military equipment, it's not really offensive weapons that they're selling, but it's these defensive systems that they're selling. S-300, the S-400, and so on and so forth, As we read here, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields. All right, so going into these shields and things like that, man. This here armor is talking about these missile defense systems, all right? The S-300, S-400, really they up to like the S-900, which can basically hit the damn ICBM missiles before they come up out the damn ground, But nevertheless, we're going to read verse 5, because it's talking about a great company is going to be along with Russia, all right? Russia's going to lead this here conglomeration of nations, and it's going to be, we're going to get it in verse 7. But nevertheless, we're going to start here in verse 5. Persia, which is Iran. All right, Iran is in the news. You have to understand that Iran has Iran, Syria, and Russia has like an agreement that if basically like NATO, if you attack one of us, we're going to all come out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to all attack, So it says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all of them with shields and helmet. All right. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Tomagar in the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. All right. Going into Syria and Turkey. Right. And really with Turkey right now, with the F-35 program versus the S-400, you're seeing basically Turkey taking the sides of Russia, man. All right. So these are the things that you see and starting to develop right before your eyes, man. This is these prophecies speaking, man. All right. Verse 7 says, be thou prepared. All right. So this was the commandment that was given to the Russians, man. Start building up, start rebuilding. Because like we read in, I believe, verse 4, I'll turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Like I said, after the Gorbachev situation with Ronald Reagan, Russia pretty much fell off the damn map, man. Economically, so on and so forth. But like I said, Vladimir Putin came into office the first time and started rebuilding all these things. All right, so it says, "Be thou prepared." Right, you start seeing them develop all these new weaponry, man. All right, the nuclear cruise missiles that could fly indefinite. All right, they could shoot a damn nuclear powered cruise missile. You know what I'm saying? You can keep ducking and dodging and hiding out, and this bitch is chasing you for the last 50 years. It's just constantly going. It ain't gonna run out of gas, bro. You see what I'm saying? This thing is just still going. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, you see in Russia develop all these new weaponry and things like that. The hypersonic missiles, Satan 1, Satan 2. All right, more and more defense systems. All right, these are all the things that Russia is doing to prepare themselves, right? Verse 7 again says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, and thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. So now you're starting to see these countries going and leaning on Russia to buy arms from and weapons from. You know, like the Philippines, they was going back and forth with America, so on and so forth. And America was selling them weapons, but now they was like, you know what, fuck y'all, we don't need y'all weapons. We'll buy weapons from Russia. America got mad, want to sanction them. It's like, yo, bro, you can't tell us who we can and can't buy weapons from. All right. So as you see, all these nations are starting to look towards Russia to be a guardian to them by buying all these here weapons. All right. But this is going to culminate into World War III, man. You're going to have Russia on their side versus America with their allies. But ultimately in World War III, all right, America is going to be left out hung to dry, man. Their allies are going to wind up turning on America. All right. So this is what you're starting to see happen right now. All right. Russia's being prepared, and they're preparing these other nations with their military equipment and so on and so forth, you know. So we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah. There's a lot in this right here. Jeremiah 50. I'm going to read around here quite a bit. And it says, well, I'm going to start at the top. Jeremiah 50, verse 1 and 2. No, we're going to just read down, actually. Verse 4, I guess. No, verse 3. Jeremiah 50 and 1. The word of Yahweh spake against Babylon, which is America, and against the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. All right. Declare ye among the nations. All right. And we on the highways and the byways putting these videos up, letting them know about their end. All right. And their judgment. All right. Declare ye among the nations. All right. Also, when you see us at camp, we got this sign with those thermonuclear missiles, the USSR written on them, and so on and so forth, letting you know what's in the scriptures, man. This is what we're doing. We declaring them among these nations. We proclaiming it. We publishing it, man. All right. It says, declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Babylon is taken. Bel is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. All right. And this is the time that we coming into where America's about to be taken, man. All right. Verse 3, talking about Russia again. It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall depart, both man and beast. All right, so Russia is basically going to come over here to America and wax that ass, man, with those thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, there's going to be nothing left over here, all right, but desert dwelling creatures, you know. It says, in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh power, the children of Israel shall come together, and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek Yahweh their power. So, like, I didn't want to read that, but hey, but technically that's what's going on right now, man. The tribes are being gathered back up, all right. This is, I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, for lo, let me go to verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Now, we just read up at the top about the north country, all right, which is talking about Russia. Then we just read about an assembly of great nations, all right, in Ezekiel 38, still talking about Russia. All right, it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, America, an assembly of great nations from the north country, so Russia and their allies, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as the mighty expert men, and none shall return in vain. So, hey, there's really a lot in here, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, I'll do a video on this military equipment and how it's actually all broken down in the scriptures, all right? So here it says, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. It says, from thence she shall be taken. So Babylon going to be taken from thence, from the position of the north country. All right. And it says, well, let me stop there. If you understand what this is all talking about, it's talking about Russia shooting missiles on America. All right. But it says, from thence she shall be taken. So this is, you know, one of those scriptures where they talk about an intercontinental ballistic missile, an ICBM missile from one continent to another continent, man. It says, from thence she shall be taken. Russia going to be launching off from Russia. All right, from one continent to the other continent, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, man. All right. It says, their arrow shall be as the mighty expert men, and none shall return in vain. Being that the Lord's going to put his spirit onto these missiles to hit all their targets, man. They're going to be perfecting their GPS and so on and so forth to where they're going to come down and hit all their intended targets. Let me just read down. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye daughters of my heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer is grass and bellows as bull, your mother shall be sore confounded, which bare you, and shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be in the wilderness, a dry land, and in the desert. All right. Verse 13, because the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, talking about America, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues, man. All right, because this place is going to be left over as a monument to all this here wickedness, man. Verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon, all right, round about. All right, so basically set yourself up against Babylon, man, or America. All ye that bend the bow, all right, you got missile capability, all right. It says, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahweh, all right. So basically, hey, they gonna wind up shooting all their damn missiles over here to America, man. All right. Well, we'll just keep reading on down. 2 more verses. 15. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her if she have done, do unto her. And so that's what these other nations are gonna wind up coming over here doing. You know, we talk about how these women gonna be raped, houses rifled, and the women ravished. All right, because why? These American soldiers was in all these other countries rape, robbing, and pillaging, man. Going through raping all the women and stealing all the goods out of the houses, so on and so forth. So this is gonna all come back into America, man. All right. Verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. The fear of oppressing sword shall they turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. All right, and hey, this is what's going on right now. People are starting to see these calamities coming, whatever, whatnot, and they trying to get with their people and stick together with their people, man. All right. Let me go from let me go down a little bit. Verse 22, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. And you know, that's what we prophesying about. But nevertheless, look at the mainstream media news, man. They keep talking about World War III and so on and so forth, man. All right. Verse 23, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right. America is the hammer of the whole earth, man. America is the one that went and smashed on all these other countries and beat them to powder and dust, man. Broke down all the infrastructure, the minds of the people, the economics, and so on and so forth, you know. Verse 24, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art taken. O Babylon, thou wast not aware, but thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. So this is that trick that they getting put into. We can read about this in Obadiah 1 verse 7, talking about all the men of thy confederacy that eat thy bread have brought you even to the border. All right, they're gonna bring you out to wind up just dying out here, man. All right. So it says, you know, and this here snare may be a trap that they just walk into, like, all right, we want a peace negotiation deal, whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden they let their guards down and some major pop off, right? Verse 25, Yahweh hath opened his armory and brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of Chaldeans. Now, Chaldeans is basically the Babylonians, right? It's another way of just, you know, like, let me think of a place where the name is different from the people that live there. But you catch the drift, you know, America, Americans. But they also have countries where the name of the people will be something completely different than the name of the place, all right? But nevertheless, this is pretty much what you have going on here, all right? The Chaldeans are pretty much, you know, they're Babylonians, basically, you know? So it says, Yahweh have opened his armory, all right? You know, the Most High went and popped his trunk, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go, don't let me get to this trunk, boy. Most High went and popped his trunk, right? And brought forth the weapons of his indignation, all right? Brought forth his weapons of his righteous judgment, all right? For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. All right, so in the land of Babylon, these thermonuclear missiles was created to do the Lord's bidding, man, to cast out his judgment. Verse, matter of fact, man, there's a lot in this I can read. Where are we at? Verse 26. Come up against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left. All right, so nothing gonna be left over here in America, man. From coast to coast, this place is gonna be on fire from these thermonuclear missiles, man. This is where you get the lake of fire. This is the image of the lake of fire that you see, man. From one ocean to the other ocean, from coast to coast, man, this whole place is gonna be burning, man. Nothing gonna be left over here, man. Everything's gonna wind up being burnt up and dying over here, man. Verse 27, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. Let me jump. 29. Call together the archers against Babylon. All right. These are the people who, you know, archers are people who got bow and arrows and so on and so forth. You know, they got long range fighting style, you know. But today, anybody really fighting no wars with bow and arrows. The modern day bow and arrow is the missiles, your missiles and the silos that they come out of, or your launching system. All right. So it says, call together the archers against Babylon. All you that bend the bow, all right, you got missile capability, bring your ass on down. We looking for you. All you that bend the bow, camp against it round about. All right. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against Yahweh and against the Holy One of Israel. So this is what's going to wind up happening, man. Esau's walking around with all his pride or whatever, whatnot. But look, all these different nations, all right, including their allies, everybody with these damn missiles and stuff like that, they going to fire off on America, man. All right. Verse 30, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day. So, like, hey, like I was saying, the people that don't get drafted, that stay over here, they're going to wind up dying anyway, man. Save the elect. But if your ass do get drafted, it says, therefore shall her young men fall in the street, and all her men of war, all the men in the military, shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. All right, so if you in the military, you got a relative in the military, and they ain't out by this day when they get drafted, they not coming back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Verse 31. Behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. So this is the end all be all for Esau and his rulership, and overall for wickedness to be ruling. All right, the day has come for the Lord to come and bring judgment, man. Verse 32, and the most proud shall be shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities and shall devour all round about him. And that's kind of what you got going on right now, man. You got these different nations telling Trump not to pull out the Iranian nuclear deal and stop doing this and stop doing that. But what? These American Edomites, all the Edomites, but really these American Edomites is the most damn proud people, man. But guess what? They're going to wind up being caught in that trick bag, man. They're going to wind up being deceived and, being taken, all right? Verse 34, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon and her princes and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. All right, and Esau is the ultimate liar, man. That's why we call him the devil, the deceiver. Verse 37, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall be as a woman. They shall be as a woman. A sword is upon her treasures, they shall be robbed. All right. So going into this, dealing with these horses and these chariots, all right, this is basically these new modern day military vehicles, the planes, tanks, helicopters, so on and so forth, But it says, and they shall be as a woman, talking about a woman in travail, man. All right, they gonna sound like a woman in horrible labor pains, man, screaming and scared. All right, a sword is upon her treasures, they shall be robbed. Let me see. Well, verse 38, it drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert and the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and there shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So America's going to wind up being turned into the lake of fire, and ultimately it's going to be left over as a monument to all the wickedness that took place over here, man. Verse 40, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So America going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah, man. It's going to be turned to a nuclear pile of ash. Verse 41, behold, a people shall come from the north, dealing with Russia again, a great nation. All right. The only other nation that's got a comparable arsenal of nuclear weapons is America. All right. A great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. All right. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel. They will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So look, this is talking about Russia, the conglomeration of nations, with their damn missiles, the ICBM missiles, all of them, man. They're not going to show no mercy, man. They're not going to be like, well, we're going to just bomb this military base or whatever, whatnot, to, just get the soldiers. Nah, fuck that. We want to make the maximum amount of devastation, man. If we got to set off a nuke downtown Manhattan, that's what we're going to do. And ultimately everything going to get nuked over here, man. Verse 43, the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands are waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains of a woman in travail. Hey, and that's kind of like what you got going on right now, man. A lot of these Americans are afraid and scared to go into the draft or whatever, whatnot. Donald Trump was talking all that big shit, but now it seems like he's a little scared. But ultimately, this is all according to the Most High's plan, man. They still got to push this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. Oh shit, we can read this too. Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon and his purpose that he purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the inhabitants desolate with them. All right, going in, those damn Amalekites and stuff like that, the so-called Jewish people, man. All right. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, dealing with the whole earth shaking to and fro, being moved out of her position, like a drunkard. Because why? All these ICBM missiles touching down and hitting the earth all at one time over here in America, man. Verse 46 again. And at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. You can read about that in Revelation 18, how they're going to be standing afar off. All the merchant, all them in the ships and everything like that, they're going to be standing afar off looking at the smoke rising up, man. And they're going to be like, oh, shit, man, Let me go from here to, I'm going to close out on this. I was talking about those nukes, right? I brought this out last night, but there's something else in here I want to grab too. Oh, you know what? We was talking about basically these weapons. We was gonna touch on this last night. One of the reasons that all these damn missiles is gonna wind up being used over here, all right, because this is the last time they're gonna be used. And anybody with with remaining missiles. Let me read this real quick. Oh, it's just loud. So give me a second. This is what I was trying to grab. Hey, we was talking about. Hey, yeah, we're gonna read this too. So this is Ezekiel 39 and 9. It says, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth. And now this is talking about, when the elect is basically taking over, right? Because again, we're not really on Russia's side, man. Russia gonna wind up taking America, but the Most High gonna wind up, or Yahushua gonna wind up taking out Russia. All right. It says, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both with the shields and the bucklers and the bow and the arrows and the handstaves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest. For they shall burn the weapons with fire. They shall spoil those that spoiled them, and rob those that robbed them, saith Yahweh. So it's talking about, the elect basically taking out the remaining of if any nation got any of these weapons, we're going to take these weapons and basically going to burn them. All right. Hey, so talking about this, going back to this here meat grinder and all these bodies that's going to be over here, especially dealing with all these damn missiles that's going to rain down on them. All right. Well, let me before I get that, we'll just read verse 11 because I'm jumping around a little bit. Ezekiel 39:11. And it shall come to pass that in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers in the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamon-Gog, right? Basically where Russia's about to get dropped at, you know what I'm saying? The Russians, they gonna wind up getting taken out too. Like I said, we don't give a fuck about them either. They Edomites as well too. They still got to get their judgment. It says, in 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, and that they may cleanse the land. All right, so hey, talking about people looking for employment, you looking for jobs and shit, right? Hey, it's about to. We're gonna keep reading. All right, yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and they shall be to them renowned the day that I shall be glorified, saith Yahweh. So, because everybody's not gonna wind up dying in World War III, in this whole Judgment Day. There's gonna be people that make it, man. Besides the elect, there's gonna be people that make it, in these other countries or whatever, whatnot. They still, there's gonna be Edomites that make it. The elite's gonna wind up making it. They got to be the first fruits to go into slavery. The Most High not gonna kill off all the damn Edomites on this side and then, spawn some new Edomites in the kingdom of heaven to serve out slavery. No, some Edomites is gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make it to be the first fruits in the slavery, man. But nevertheless, you know, you still going to have these other nations as well, too. Some of them are going to make it, you know what I'm saying? But guess what their new jobs is going to be? They the first fruits of slavery as well, too. And guess what they're going to be doing? Verse 12, or verse 13, yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith Yahweh. And they shall sever out men of continual employment. All right, y'all need jobs? I got a continual job for your ass, man. It says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it after the end of 7 months they shall search. All right, so now going into this is how you know it's a nuclear warfare is going to take place, man, because everything going to be contaminated with radiation, man. All right, so it's going to be a time frame. It's not going to be right after. They're going to be looking for, you know, it's going to be a cleanup time, right? Verse 15, and the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bones, all right, then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Haman Gog, right? So, you know, you have certain, you know, you're going to have your first wave of people going through there, you know what I'm saying? They might have some radiation proof equipment or whatever, whatnot, and see these people and set up flags or whatever. Hey, somebody right here, his body's over here, whatever, whatnot. So when the cleanup crew come, they already know where they at. All right. Also, the name of the city shall be called Hamanoth, and they shall cleanse the land. All right. So basically, you know, this is going to be, you know, where these Russians fall at. All right. But nevertheless, we're going to get back into, you know, finish off right here dealing with that meat grinder, man. You know, this is like one of my favorite scriptures right here. Oh, real quick, let me grab something else in this. Where is it at? Oh, it's in Ezekiel 38. Yeah. So, like, give me 1 second. That's at the bottom. This is Ezekiel 38 and 22. It says, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstones. All right, so basically, hey, this is when the missiles is raining down on your ass, man. It's gonna be, hey, the Most High is basically saying here, hey, I'm gonna rain down on you a continual rain, bro. Think about that. You know, who was that chick? Missy Elliott. I can't stand the rain up against my windows. That's what these motherfuckers gonna be saying in this day, man. All the damn missiles that's rolling out. Go back to watch the first 300 movie, you know, where they was like, our arrows will blot out the sun. They were like, we're gonna fight in the shadows, you know. And when they shot off all them damn arrows, it damn near turned to darkness, you know what I'm saying? Because of all them damn arrows. But guess what? That ain't shit, man. It's gonna be the same thing in this day, but with thermonuclear missiles, man. They gonna all be launched off into the air. And when they all touch down, man, it's gonna be raining nukes, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be feeling the whole earth shaking from here to there. You know, you may be 50 miles out from a nuclear explosion, and all of a sudden you feel that tremble, man. And then another one hit 30 miles out somewhere, boom. And then another one hit 20 miles out somewhere, boom. Then the next one come and just wipe your ass up, man. You just feeling the whole earth just boom, 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 man. You're gonna be hearing this shit all around the whole damn earth, man. All right, the Most High is about to rain this shit. It's gonna be like a severe thunderstorm, man. You know what I'm saying? When it's raining so damn hard outside, like rain and hail or whatever, whatnot, you know. We get this type of rain here in Florida all the time. It'd be like zero visibility because it's raining hard as fuck, bro. That's what it's gonna be like when these missiles start raining down over on that great multitude in the Valley of Decisions, man. Again, it's gonna be a day like never before, man. All these soldiers that's over there, man. The Most High is about to get rid of all this wickedness, man. All right, he about to gather up all these nations in the Middle East, man, for World War III, man. He gonna let them weaken each other up by fighting each other and everything like that. But then all of a sudden, they gonna be like, fuck it, we gonna go nuclear on that ass, man. They gonna start going nuclear, but then the chariots is gonna be there too to keep waxing that ass over there, man. You see what I'm saying? So this is the ultimate meat grinder, man. This is the ultimate meat grinder that the Most High got for these goddamn heathen, man. All these people really saved the elect, man. All right, and if you actually make it past this, if you're not a part of the elect and you make it through this shit, you know what I'm saying? They talk about, you know, actually in the scripture they say that dying famine, it's better to die of the sword than a famine. But nevertheless, you know, they got stages of how this judgment gonna roll out, you know. But nevertheless, you know, and a thermonuclear missile, you know what I'm saying? If you get hit with that shit, you know what I'm saying? It might be quick, you know what I'm saying? But you don't understand the psychological shit that's gonna take place. That you just seen all this other death, the famine and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? Your whole family died off. You didn't ate your kids and everything like that. all this is psychologically going through your mind for you to make it through all of this shit. You've been strong and pushing through just to get hit with a fucking missile. You see what I'm saying? And you might see the wall of fire coming towards your ass from a distance before it even gets to you. And you're like, fuck. You might try to run and hide. You know what I'm saying? You might not necessarily, because you can kind of survive a nuclear, explosion. You see what I'm saying? If you're in a right area of a building or whatever, whatnot. But as soon as you go outside into the damn air to breathe that shit, man, your ass is gonna goddamn die. Or shortly after, you're gonna die from radiation. You know what I'm saying? The radiation raining down on you. The ashes raining down on you. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a nuclear winter, man. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? You may have survived because you was in some kind of building or some shit. You may have survived the damn that heat wave coming through, but the damn building collapsed in your ass. So you still alive under all this rubble of this building, but you got this intense heat that's burning your ass to death. A slow death, man. All right? So this is going to be horrible, man. So if you happen to make it to at least the missiles, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see some horrible shit. Now, just imagine living through all that shit and making it through the missiles and everything like that. You're like, fuck, I done just seen the most horrible shit in my entire fucking life. I'm bugged the fuck out after seeing this. Just look at the people on the day of 9/11 when those buildings was coming down and they was covered in all that, the remains of those people's body and shit like that, man. Now, when they was, giving interviews right after that completely covered, they was just lost. They was, oh my, what the fuck happened? What's going on? They was just lost, confused, didn't know where the fuck they was at, man. All right, that's gonna be nothing compared to this, man. Imagine the whole city being leveled like that and you still alive, man. Hey, just like 9/11, man. The firefighters, there was firefighters at the bottom, in the basement and shit like that, and the whole fucking building collapsed on them. And then they walked up out of that shit, People was being pulled from the rubble, man. Then waking up and seeing, the space where the towers stood, you know what I'm saying? And like, oh shit, what just happened? Imagine that, but then you get up and you see, you in Manhattan, and then you can see 50 fucking miles out, just flat, everything leveled out where it used to all be big ass high rise buildings. You couldn't even see 2 blocks. But now everything is a flat land, just dust and bodies and ash and everywhere, man. But then you make it through all of that shit just to breathe in some nuclear, ash or whatever, and you die from that. Or fuck that, you make it through that shit, guess what's gonna happen, man? Your ass going into slavery. You done seen all of that shit and lived through all that shit just to go into slavery, man. You're gonna be frightened by the damn chariots, man. And then your ass gonna be put in slavery, man. So, hey, man, it ain't looking good for nobody save the elect, man. You see what I'm saying? But let's go back to Ezekiel 38, and we'll start at verse 18. And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith Yahweh, power that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in the day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. All right, it's gonna also Israel's gonna also be nuked too, man. You see what I'm saying? Because that place got to be cleansed of all that. Like I say, Jerusalem gonna be trodden down to the Gentiles till the time the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. That place is defiled over there, man. That's why don't nothing grow over there, man. That's why there's no agriculture that grow over there. They import trees, import water. Everything over there is basically artificial in Israel right now because nothing is living and thriving over there because we not over there in that land, man. Since we left it out of that land, nothing thrives over there, man. And that's why it's like it is now. You do some research on Israel, man. They don't have their own water. They bring water in there. They don't have no real plants over there. They bring plants and trees over there, man. All right. But nevertheless, that place got to be cleansed. But verse 20 says, so that the fish of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountain shall be thrown down and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. For I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith Yahweh, of Yahweh power. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. All right, going into this here war. All right, hey, and let me read this one more time. We just read this, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. So again, you know what I'm saying? The missile's gonna come down and start cleansing everything, man. All right, so let me go up and we're gonna close out with this here scripture. I think it's verse 17. No, oh no, we got to go back to Ezekiel 39, right? Ezekiel 39 and verse 17, right? I love this right here, man. Hey, but this is glorious, man. Hey, we got a phrase, your ass gonna either be missile food, all right? You gonna be hit with them damn nukes, or your ass gonna be bird food, bro. It's either missile food or bird food. Which one you want to take, man? Ezekiel 39 and 17 say, and thou, son of man, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, all right? Yahweh power. Speak unto every feathered fowl, that means all the birds, and to every beast of the field, All right. So this is the commandment that's given to the birds and to the damn beast. All right. Assemble yourselves. And it's just think about this. These motherfuckers been eating all kind of plastic and defiled shit for so long. And these people are defiled too. But guess what? They about to be eating down on some flesh. The flesh of kings, bro. Ezekiel 39:17. And thou, son of man, thus saith Yahweh of power, speak unto every feathered fowl and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that you may eat the flesh and drink the blood. All right. And you shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, of goats, of bullocks, and all the fatling of Bashan. And you shall eat fat till you be full and drink blood till you be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed unto you. All right. Thus shall you be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men and all the men of war, saith Yahweh of hosts. All right. Let me read this too. It says, let me go down to verse 22. 21. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them, so that the house of Israel shall know that I Yahweh, am their power from that day forward. So, hey, man, this is what the Most High finna do for us, to the elect, man. This is why it's important for your ass to get in line, man. The Most High finna do a fucking glorious work on these fucking heathen, man. Hey, man, the Most High finna, he gathering up all these nations, man. All these Edomites and all these other nations, man. They little 15, 16-year-old sons and shit. They getting older and older and older just to get drafted the fuck over there, man. They about to let these homosexuals go over there, man. All these motherfuckers is getting drafted to go to fuck the World War III. Guess what? To be buried in the sands of time, man. These motherfuckers is finna be sacrificed to the damn man. It's gonna be a goddamn feast over there, man. Everything gonna get devoured, man. The missiles going over there and just cleaning up every damn thing, man. If your ass survive all that shit or your body just laying around, man, your ass gonna goddamn be eaten by the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air, man. You know, well, over on that side, you know what I'm saying? This place is gonna be completely burnt up, man. You know what I'm saying? But over there in the Middle East, man, it's gonna be bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies, man. Again, bring back D-Day and Normandy, man. Think about how many fucking bodies was laid down on that motherfucking beach from all. They was just out there all damn day just laying people down, man. All day. They was bodies just stacked on top of bodies, man. Yo, but in the Middle East, bro, this is where they gonna all be buried at, man. This is where they all go. All you, the Edomites you work with and shit, Tom and Jerry and all these motherfuckers you got, 9 times out of 10, they ass gonna get drafted over and gonna be buried over in the goddamn sands of time, man. This is what the Most High is finna say, bro. The Most High has got this work going for you, man. This is what he gonna do. He gonna glorify himself in the sight of these heathen for you, man. Look, you touched the apple of my eye, and this is the judgment for this shit, man. You thought I was like one of your asses was gonna forget about this shit and don't execute judgment. Fuck no, you got me fucked up, man. No, this is the apple of my eye, bro. They weren't supposed to drink the cup, and you think you're gonna go unpunished, man? You gonna drink the whole cup, even the dregs thereof, man. You gonna drink all of this in the cup, and you gonna even get the last little drop of it all, man. You gonna put your finger in there and wipe it all the way around to it's squeaky dry and lick your finger dry of that shit, man. Your ass gonna taste of all this here judgment, man. And this is what's going on. These proud ass people, the few, the proud, the Marines or whatever, whatnot. These damn Edomites walking around. Oh, World War III ain't happening. America's the greatest nation on earth. Oh, nuclear missiles don't exist. All the Iran don't want America, don't want that smoke with America. Russia don't want that smoke with America. Fuck these nations. You gonna learn today, man. You gonna learn that Yahweh is his name, and his son's name is Yahweh Shah, man. And he's the power of Israel, man. He finna come over here. He lining your ass up right the fuck now, man. You see what I'm saying? They're putting plans together right now to get more and more troops to go over to the fucking Middle East right as we speak, right now to bury your ass, man. Right now, hey, you Israelites, especially you that's in this is truth, man, you should be rejoicing right now, man. Hey, the Most High is lining these niggas up for goddamn extermination, man. And your sight, you seeing this right now, man. This whole Iran situation, that's another cause to send more troops over there, man. Send these motherfuckers over there, man. Man, hey, man, these motherfuckers is getting prepared to be buried out there, man. All right, this is what the Most High is finna do for you, man. Let me read this one more time. We closing out. Ezekiel 39 and verse 17. And thou, son of man, thus saith Yahweh power, speak unto every fowl, every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field. Assemble yourselves and gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that you may eat the flesh and drink blood. Like in the olden days, we would sacrifice a lamb, you know what I'm saying, on a fire pit, you know what I'm saying? These bodies is going to be the sacrifice, man. You know what I'm saying? That's like the scriptures say, hey, blood defileth the land, and the land can't be cleansed but by the blood of him that spilt the blood. So Esau spilling our blood over here in the Americas. This is why these motherfuckers going to die over here. This whole place going to get turned to the lake of fire. That's why everything over here got to go. Everything from sea to sea, this bitch has got to go. The whole land is defiled. Everywhere you walking is a motherfucking grave site, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is up under all the soil over here, man. By the droves, mass graves and shit, man. Look up the Devil's Punch Bowl and shit, man. Your bodies is littered throughout the whole fucking U.S. up under the goddamn grounds and shit, man. So the way to cleanse this here land is by the blood of those that put the blood down over here. The Edomites that's over here, man. They got to be, hey, they're going to be wiped off the face of the earth over here, man. But then also in the Middle East, man. This is where all these wars and all this shit all started in the Middle East, and it's going to all be finished over here. So you think there's a lot of bodies over here in America? Oh, no. We spent way more time over on the eastern side of the globe than over here on the western side of the globe. There was way more wars over there, way more death and carnage over there. But guess what? Ultimately, out of all that blood that was spilled over there on their side, the Most High is about to cleanse all of that shit back up with all these nations and all their blood over there, man. This is the greatest sacrifice, the last sacrifice. Well, not the greatest sacrifice, Salakia. Yahushua was the greatest sacrifice. But in a sense of, like, an amount per se, you know what I'm saying? Like, Solomon, you know, used to be like, yo, bring in 100 sheep, 100 goats, 100 cows or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They got trains and shit that's going on basically on the grill, on the altar. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, in this time, all these bodies, man. You know what I'm saying? All these, man, millions and millions of people, man. Hey, man, this whole earth is about to be culled, man. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a great culling of this here earth, man. Meaning, hey, they're going to be, led to the slaughter like the sheep, basically, roughly saying, you know. All this shit is about to be turned into death and desolation, man. All right? Ezekiel 39:17, we're going to close out. And thou, son of man, thus saith Yahweh power, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice that I do sacrifice unto you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that you may eat the flesh and drink the blood. Hey, as a quick side note, every like Tuesday, actually Monday and Tuesday, right? Monday, I'm working out here with these Edomites in this one little area that's named after like Greyhawks, because a lot of fucking Greyhawks be out there flying around. You know what I'm saying? In this other neighborhood where it's basically a bunch of fucking vultures and shit, man. Like, you literally see these shits, like, they everywhere. I mean, like, not like how you see, like, regular in the city, like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vultures on the side of the road eating one thing. No. We talking about, like, you know what I'm saying, on the side of the lake, it might be like 40 fucking vultures just sitting there. They ain't even eating nothing. They just sitting there. You know, another 30, 40 of them flying in the air. You know what I'm saying? And another, like, 10 of them on the side of this here roof. You know what I'm saying? They just looking for food, man. They just sit there, swarm around all damn day. Day after day, month after month, year after year. They just looking for food, man. When I get out and I look at that shit, I be like, yeah, hey, man, y'all ain't gonna be hungry for too long, man. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, hey, come on, man. The Most High is about to, man. Verse 18, you shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth. All right, so, hey, that's talking about all these damn soldiers, these elites, these higher-ups, and so on and so forth. All right? Of rams, of lambs, of goats, of bullocks, and all the fatling of Bashan. You know, the GMO, all these animals GMO'd out. Everything got to go, man. And you shall eat the fat till you be full, and drink blood till you be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. All right. Let me just close it out with this. Thus shall you be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and all the men of war, saith Yahweh. So, like I said, man, if your ass in the military, if you get sent over there, you're not coming back. All right. That's the end all be all. Every last soldier in the military that get deployed, fuck that. They deploying all the soldiers. This is World War III. Every last soldier is not coming back. All right. Hey, there's a scripture that say their widows. I think that's in the Apocrypha. All right, the widows mourn because basically their husbands and their sons and their nephews and shit all died at war, man. This is what it's talking about. They're not coming back, bro. Every last one of these goddamn soldiers, they all marked for death, man. You know, they got their dog tags and their numbers. Bro, you might as well cash out on that bitch. You already gone, man. All right. It says, I have set my glory. I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I, Yahweh, their power from that day forward. All right, so you're gonna know who the real living power is, man. Like the scriptures say, man, every knee gonna bow and every mouth gonna confess, man. So you got these atheists and non-believers, especially among our people, man. One way or another, you're gonna be forced to acknowledge the Most High, man. When you see this shit, the chariots, thermonuclear missiles, all these goddamn bodies, like, surely there's a God. You know, surely there's a power. What the fuck is going on here, man? All right, but it's the end all be all, man. And this is the times that we living in, the build up for all this, man. This is what's going on with all these rumors of wars and all these tit for tats going back and forth. And, you know, they just preparing to keep moving these troops over there for the goddamn, the great day of the Lord, man. All right, for that great meat grinder, man. All right, that great sacrifice, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. You know, Salaki, I'm a little up in the spirit, just meditating on this, man, rejoicing because hey, we about to be up out of here real soon, man. All right, we know we keep saying it, but hey, man, we about to be up out of here real soon, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying into the elect. Till next time I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time I say, stay strong and shalom.